Now we open up on me. My face is red because for some reason it's very hot. I think it's the beard. I'm growing out the beard again. I don't know. It's one of those things where like you get really lazy and you're like, I can't be bothered shaving. And then when you finally get around to like, oh, I'm going to have a grooming day where I'm going to shave and trim or whatever. And then you miss that day and then the cycle repeats. Anyway, so I'm growing my beard out again. It's winter, so it's fine. It's realistic to do it. A few things. Hi, welcome back to Collector Creations, which, as of yesterday, it's official. Oh, I love it. I know this is going to be like 3 weeks from now, but I don't really care. I'm going to do This Week in Mail. Now, ironically, you might be thinking, when exactly am I filming This Week in Mail? Because the This Week in Mail doesn't actually film and be released on the same week. So far, that's not how the roster is going. That might end up happening, sure, but currently not really. And I don't personally mind. I'm still happy with the 2 videos a week, maybe 1 mail video a week and another thing, either a collection or whatever. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, so far I've only got 2 things in, but I want to do some updates as well as to what the theatre room has currently changed into. So first up, just on the basic thing, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I got the 4K UHD. It's probably going to be a sale at JB in like 2 days' time, so it probably wasn't worth me buying it at $40 fucking. But I didn't really care. I was selling like a bunch of figurines, so I had the money for it, or at least half the money. This is the Australian release. I like the poster. I don't mind that the quote says a metaphysical multiverse galaxy brain head trip. That's actually not a bad quote to have on it. And of course, you got some good images as well. My only concern, of course, because the US get everything, we only got a single disc release, but I figured I'd prefer to get it on 4K than on Blu-ray. So there's that, which is cool. I'm leaving it over here because my dad wants to rewatch it. I've already seen it twice so far, and I'm like, I don't care to watch it for a while. I might check out the 4K eventually, but I'm good. However, a 4K I was very much eager for. The Witch is like in the mail. It'll be here like either this week or next week. Probably next week, knowing my luck. But Tenebrae came in. This is the Arrow Store exclusive edition, which pisses me off. Mostly because, well, I don't know, it's weird. I thought I had to pay it all at once because I ordered it with, shit, where'd it go? With Death Screams, which was an exclusive as well to the Arrow Store. So I really wanted this artwork because I've really been liking this artwork. It's got a minor fucking dent there, which is actually, it's fine realistically. It's all black anyway. I love this artwork. I didn't really care for the new modern look of the artwork, which may seem weird given how I have this one in Phenomena. I went for their original artworks. For Cat o' Nine Tails, Deep Red, and Bird of the Crystal Plumage, I went for the new artworks. I don't know why. I think the main reason is I didn't really like the original artwork for those ones. Like, these are all black, which I like. I think it works better for it. Whereas, I mean, obviously the alternate of this looks really... It's just this, but got a weird cutout and has, you know, just looks more like the modern ones, which the new designs, which I just didn't like it. I'm just like, I don't like that look. It doesn't suit it for me. Phenomena, I really liked the style I got, if it helps. Because I realize some people's memories don't stretch back as far as mine. Ooh, no, Robocop, you can stay up there. So, for example, this is the original artwork version of Phenomena, which I really dig. I love this look. It's so fucking cool. But then you got Deep Red, which is the standard version. But I still like this design for it. I think because I got it as... I couldn't get the original prints. I think they'd all sold out, but that's... one or two of them had already sold out, but I was very happy to get these ones instead, and I got them on sale at Zavvi because I didn't really want to get the 4K upgrade, but I really wanted this artwork, so I ordered it from Arrow Video. Yeah, curious that there's nothing on the back, but not too terrible. Obviously, I've taken the 4K out. I put the Blu-ray back into the box, so I've got the 4K. I think this version also has exclusive... Disc 1 is the original version, Disc 2 is the Unsane version, which is the limited edition exclusive. I don't know if it's exclusive to just this release, or the whole 4K release, and it's only on the 4K release, which is like one of the benefits of, say, Deep Red, which came with a second version, same as Phenomena, came with a second version, the Creepers cut and whatever, so it's like, the 4Ks have at least had that extra uptick compared to the Blu-rays, but then I think Bird of the Crystal Plumage and Cat o' Nine Tails just had the standard films, they didn't have an alternate cut, which I'm fine with. But of course I've still chosen this artwork, because of course this is what I'm going to display on the shelf. But it comes with a fuck ton of stuff, which is really nice, and all the special features I love are on the actual 4K discs, which is great. Obviously the Blu-ray still has all the same special features, but I ended up watching this last night because I hadn't seen it yet at all. I wanted to watch it. I will not be showing off these art cards. Well, I mean, they're not bad. I mean, like you got this mini poster, which is great. Then you got that, which is pretty good. This one's a little... yeah, that can show off. I like all these. These art cards are pretty good. They're very kind of flimsy, which is interesting. I'm not going to show that one off because I don't want to spoil the film. This one showcases... oh, that also kind of spoils the film. Alright, the part on the left with the dog. That's my favourite scene in the movie. I absolutely adored it. Actually, this one's really cool as well. I mean, they all spoil the movie. What does it matter? What the That's an interesting image. I don't remember that in the film. Still. Yeah, so you got your original artwork. You got the Unsane edition, and you got this, which is weird, because I feel like this should be the artwork on the Unsane edition, but I think the point is that the Unsane edition's like the US release, whereas that artwork, which I also really like, is the alternate artwork on here. It's the Japanese release, which is really fun. So, of course, when you watch the movie, you see... oh, it's actually called Shadow as well. You see all of these different... Jesus. You see where they get all these artworks from. Like, the main artwork, they're all obviously from actual kills that happen in the movie, which is really cool because, like, the killer, like, takes pictures of all the victims, which, like, doesn't even become, like, a thing, realistically, when you watch the film. Like, it's never really utilized, but I still think it's really kind of cool. Like, it's technically utilized to some degree, but I won't get into it just for spoiler's sake. And then you've got your poster. But yeah, I have had the Blu-ray of this for a while, never got around to watching it. But then, of course, they announced the 4K UHD, so I figured, look at that, that's beautiful. I love that they have that. So I figured I'd actually just, wait for the 4K UHD to come out, and I'd just watch that. It's really freaky. And honestly, I think it was worth it in the end. It also has the book, which is the only thing that actually has the A in it, because the Italian version just has a E in it without an A, if that makes sense. And then, of course, you got your booklet with a bunch of screams and bloody murder and all this kind of cool stuff. Thick booklet, obviously good. What did I think of the film? Well, I thought the transfer was great. It's one of those things where, like, I didn't think, like, the 4K really stood out, but then I kind of, like, looked at it and I was actually, it kind of does. Like, it's a contrast to Suspiria, where that is all colourful, beautiful, everything. But then this film looks mundane. It's meant to look usual, normal. It doesn't have overall flourishes in colour. Even, like, the blood, which usually, in a lot of Argento films, is usually really, really colourful. But this time, it's like... The red of the blood I think, is the best blood Argento's ever done. It looks incredible. Like, it looks realistic to the point of, I don't know, kind of adds to the terror of it, because a lot of them, it looks a bit cheesy, it looks a bit fake, but this time it's so beautifully coloured, it's really hard to describe how, like, the effect it pulls off, but it makes the film work so much better, I think, and it's just gorgeous. But I thought the 4K was great, the audio was great. It only has an English or Italian track, so I just went with English. I think it's like maybe a DTS mono or stereo track. What does it say on the case? It's just a mono track, which I don't mind. I liked it. I liked the track. I thought it sounded really good. The music, I think, is from Goblin. which it doesn't even say it's from Goblin on the screen. It has like 3 different names, but I think I watched the documentary afterwards, which was called Yellow Fever: The Rise and Fall of Giallo cinema, or just Giallo, and it mostly talked about Dario Argento, which I know some people will probably criticize because it's like, oh, why won't you talk about these other people? It's already like a 90-minute documentary, but I really liked it, and of course they actually mentioned how Goblin still kind of did the soundtrack to Tenebrae, but I really liked the film. I liked the look of it. I liked how it sounded, and I just enjoyed the whole film. The second half of it, I felt a bit off. Like, I'm like, because, you know, you're waiting for you want to have the main character there, so you have someone to connect to and whatever. He just kind of vanishes, but then you find out why, and it's like, oh, okay, this film just went from like 5 to 100. It's insane. Fantastic ending. Yeah, just gorgeous stuff. So I definitely recommend it. I can understand why people wouldn't like it, but it's also like, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Phenomena. I like it. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but Tenebrae, I was like, this fucking slaps. But at the same time, I mean, Argento is great with his endings, so let's be honest, Phenomena has a fantastic ending. But yeah, so watch the documentary as well. It's the only special feature I got around to watching, because it was pretty late when I ended up finishing it. But it was actually really informative. It went into the history of Giallo cinema, got both from the books to like inspirations from Hitchcock and whatever, and then like what the Italian audiences wanted, how it fared globally, how Argento changed the formula, of course still quoting onto Bava and Fulci and whatever. And it's got great stuff. You got people talking about working with these directors. You got obviously Argento, who's still alive, talking about his films, and what like kind of inspired him to get into them and stuff like that. And it's really interesting. And even, you know, how people admit that, like, oh, you know, like Argento's like opera is basically like his last good giallo film. But there are still good giallo films as well, here and there. Just the formula's kind of dropped off because it's been done so much. And yeah, I mean, look, everything has its period. Not everything can go forever. So yeah, we're all waiting for the Marvel films to stop just being made at all. But it's okay. I say that after they've announced Phase 5 and 6. Holy shit. But yeah, so I thought it was a really good documentary. In terms of spoilers for other films, it does spoil the twist in Tenebrae, and in Don't Torture the Ducklings, or Don't Torture a Duckling. I haven't seen that one, so that really bothered me, because I have the Blu-ray. It does I think it spoils opera, but the guy was talking in Italian, so I didn't have to look at the screen for that part, which was great, so I didn't get spoiled on it, which is wonderful. It does have minor spoilers for Bird of the Crystal Plumage and Deep Red as well. So, yeah, minor to the point of you might not even realize that there's spoilers until you watch the actual film, and by then you might have forgotten. So it's still a good like access point for audiences to go watch those documentaries. But yeah, I'd say it was worthwhile watching. I love that it's just on the disc there. It's great. So that's good. Because it was made in like 2016 or something. So yeah, and it has some footage from like the new remasters from Arrow Video. But yeah. Anyway, I wanted to take a look at the theatre room shelf. Not really much to show over there, and there's still some laundry drying, so that's always wonderful. But I've kind of changed around where I've put things now. So if we take a look up there, so hello. As you can see, this one's the VHS slot. That's where I've got my empty boxes, or you know, that's where I put all the display boxes for like Arrow Video and Eureka and all that stuff. They're usually empty, or they've got a spare Blu-ray or whatever. If I've already had a Blu-ray and I've upgraded per se, you know. Then 1, 2, 3 are all steelbook slots. They're the ones I'd display if I had the chance, but for the most part, I don't want anyone to touch them, so they stay where they are. Then you've got premiums and premiums and premiums. All 3 of those. Oh god, where am I? Yes, so these 3 here are all premium steelbook sections. Again, mostly all for display, not for anyone to really touch or watch or whatever, despite some of them being like upgrades. Like I've got the 4K of The Goonies and Fast and Furious up there, but I don't want anyone to touch them per se. But I did one clever thing. Wasn't really clever per se, but where... Oh my god, someone out there is driving like a bloody hooligan. Anyway, I've got this version of Apocalypse Now. Always wanted to get the 4K of the theatrical cut and everything. So what I did, I left the final cut in there. Because it's got 3 slots, I just put in the 4K of Apocalypse Now on the Redux. And left the special features disc, which has Hearts of Darkness, all in one case. So now it's not even in the Nova Cinema one, which I am totally fine with, because I don't really want to have to open that again, because it's got a really nice steelbook, and I don't want to scratch the steelbook. But anyway, where were we? So, yeah, I've now put Deep Space Nine over here. It's also got Battlestar Galactica, the original series, at the very end of it. And, yeah, not too much else has changed. But then I can show this behind our fan here. I've put all the steelbooks that you can watch. Basic Instinct is a placeholder for when the actual steelbook comes in, because I ordered the 4K steelbook from Zavvi. So yeah, got more steelbooks. All these are films that if a person here wants to watch them, they can. Then I've got my box sets. All these are in print except for the Hammer, but I don't mind because you got Hammer, 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 so that kind of works out. And then some more sets down here. So yeah. Anyway, that's all for now. I gotta do some work, and I'm also up to here now on the shelf, which is kind of concerning. I've got one extra over here. Ignore the Tenebrae, but the doubles. I can fit maybe 146, I think I calculated, or 139. It's all like I can fit in stacks of 7, and there's like 20 boxes, 20 slots. So yeah, it's kind of tricky. But I did do one which was kind of cool. I liked it. Sorry, I'm like bragging. I've changed my selection for I call it the Dead selection. You got Night of the Living Dead, Night of the Living Dead, which is obviously original color remake. Dawn of the Dead, the remake. This is the 4K Dawn of the Dead 2. I've got the Blu-ray set, obviously down. Shit, where the fuck is it? I have no idea. It's somewhere down there. Yeah, so Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. I have this version on display rather than the Scream Factory because this one has the exact same transfer, but it has more special features, and I am down for that. And Return of the Living Dead, because they're all dead. So, and then Dead Poets Society and Dead Zone and Deadpool and Deadwood. Anyway, that's just... They aren't there because it's dead, but just because this is dead and that's dead and that's dead and it's all dead. Anyway, that's all for now. Fuck, alright, sure, I will. I got more Lego. I got the Mario starter kit. I only bought it for so I could buy this guy. But it's actually a pretty cool kit. I haven't opened it yet. I've had it for like 2 days now. Mostly because I've been focusing on the shelf, but I also got... I got this with it. So I'll be building that soon. Yeah, that's all for now. I've been so busy on the shelf that I haven't been building yet, but I will be building soon. See you next time. Adios. Oh, my knees. Oh, God.